best ways to initiate a conversation with a girl you like. All right, so today's video originates from a discussion I had within my Patreon community with one of my patrons. A really nice guy, quite good looking, and he reached out to me and said, "Jessie, you know what my biggest challenge is? I struggle to approach women. My shyness is overwhelming." I asked him, "Why do you feel shy? What exactly is holding you back? Why does approaching women seem so challenging for you?" We explored a few ideas that could be useful for other guys in my audience who might be facing similar struggles, whether it's initiating conversations, making the first move, or engaging in meaningful discussions with women. So, if this sounds like you, then this video is just what you need. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll be right back. Welcome back. My name is Jessie, and this is my YouTube channel. All right, let's talk about the best ways to start a conversation with a girl you're interested in. Now, this topic actually comes from a discussion I had in my Patreon community with an amazing guy from SA. I won't mention your name, but I'm giving you a shout out. If you're watching this, you'll know exactly who you are. So he hopped on a video call with me and shared how he struggles with extreme shyness around women. He finds it hard to function when interacting with them. Even when he manages to approach a woman, whether in person or through social media, he struggles to maintain engaging conversations. Getting her phone number isn't even the biggest hurdle. It's actually keeping the conversation meaningful when they finally meet. I couldn't help but smile because this is a common challenge many men face, and they often feel stuck in a cycle of uncertainty. Hopefully, by the end of this video, I'll help clear things up for him and for anyone else in a similar situation. So, I'll share with you exactly what I told him. The first thing I asked was, why are you shy? What's really stopping you? Why does approaching women feel so intimidating? Women aren't some extraterrestrial beings from another planet. They're just like you, human beings made of flesh and blood. And believe it or not, a lot of them actually want you to make the first move. Of course, it all depends on the phase of life she is in, her social standing, and other similar factors. These aspects do have an impact, but not to a significant extent. Generally, however, people are open to forming new connections, and I like to think that this holds true for many women. So I asked him, why do you feel shy? What's the problem? We tried to figure it out, but couldn't quite identify a single reason. Apart from everything else, his job also restricted his social interactions since he was constantly working behind a computer. Now, bear in mind, this man is over 40 years old, has only been in 4 relationships, and was seeking some guidance on how to navigate this rather challenging aspect of life. So we discussed it. The first thing I told him, and I'll share it here, is, what's the worst that could happen? Take a moment to think about it. What's the worst that could happen if you approach a girl, convince her to go out with you, and by the end of the night, you both realize you're not a match? What's the absolute worst that could happen? Nothing at all. You're not going to drop dead. You're not suddenly going to lose your job. You're not going to have a panic attack and pass out. Seriously, nothing bad is going to happen. That's exactly how I want you to start viewing this situation. The reason you're shy is that you feel insecure about certain things. And sometimes these insecurities are deeply ingrained. They come from different sources. Maybe as a child you were told you weren't good enough. Perhaps your friends made fun of you, making you feel unattractive or uncool. There are countless reasons why people develop shyness. From my own experience, I've also noticed that shyness often comes from being overly uncertain and allowing it to interfere with your growth. You're stuck overthinking everything. Stop overthinking this. Approaching a woman isn't as complicated as you're making it out to be. It's really not that hard. And honestly, what's the absolute worst that could happen? She might say no. She might turn you down. So what? That's not the end of the world. You're not suddenly going to collapse from a heart attack. It's not going to be stamped on your forehead, nor will it be written on the back of your shirt that you just got rejected. All you do is walk away and try again somewhere else. Now, if handling rejection is something you struggle with, I have a special video that can help. It's called How to Deal with Rejection. I'll leave the link in the description below. Click on it and watch. It'll be beneficial. But To keep things on track, my point today is that there is absolutely no reason for you to feel unworthy or beneath anyone else. None at all. Even if you have personal insecurities, always remember that many of us struggle with insecurities too. However, despite our doubts, we don't allow those insecurities to hold us back from striving for success. That's exactly how you should approach this, because in reality, it's not as complicated as it seems. Now, how do you begin a conversation with a girl you're interested in? Good. First, you need to meet her. If you're about to start a conversation, that means you've already managed to approach her successfully. Before making your move, take a moment to assess the environment. Be mindful of where she is, who she's with, and the mood she appears to be in. Too often, men approach women who are sitting alone at a bar or restaurant without considering whether she actually wants company. Perhaps she's simply enjoying some time to herself, reflecting or unwinding. The last thing she might want in that moment is someone intruding on her personal space. That's why it's crucial to observe and evaluate the situation before deciding to engage. That's step one. Step two, has she noticed you? Has she glanced at you a few times? Have your eyes met? If not, you might want to subtly move into her field of vision and see if you catch her attention. If she looks at you once and then never again, she may not be interested. However, if you two exchange glances multiple times, that could be a promising indication that she's open to a conversation. When you approach her, keep it straightforward. Go directly to the point. Ask if you can have a few minutes of her time to chat, catch up, and get to know her better. If she declines, simply walk away. But if she engages and seems open, then great. Now there's no need to overthink it. When you get to her, you have plenty of options. One of the best ways to initiate a conversation is by using your surroundings. For instance, if you're at a concert or a bar with live performances, you could start with something like, "Hey, are you enjoying the music? This band happens to be my favourite." She might respond with enthusiasm, saying she enjoys the same type of music, and from there, the conversation can naturally flow. One important skill I'd recommend refining is the ability to make someone laugh as quickly as possible. Ideally, within the first 2 minutes of meeting her, you should be able to say something humorous. This helps set a light-hearted tone, makes her see you as a fun and interesting person, and allows her to lower her guard a bit so she can genuinely enjoy the conversation that follows. This is something I personally picked up from one of my mentors. His approach to start with a joke. Once you laugh, he has your full attention for the rest of the interaction. It's a valuable skill to develop, and I highly encourage you to work on it. Once you get comfortable with this, the best way to initiate conversations is by using your surroundings. You don't necessarily need to jump straight into standard questions like, "Hey, what's your name?" or "How many siblings do you have?" Instead, try to engage with things happening around you and avoid overly predictable topics whenever possible. Even better, if you're feeling unsure, I've got a video that covers 32 conversation starters, not just 1, 2, 3, or even 10, but a total of 32, that you can go through and memorize a few from. Trust me, they'll come in handy. I'll also drop the link in the description below. There are plenty of questions you can ask to keep the conversation flowing. That said, the most crucial thing is knowing when to stop. It's easy to get caught up in the moment. The evening is going great, she's engaged, responding well, and you might forget that she had plans before you came along or was with some friends. So, be mindful of the right moment to walk away, to pause, and to leave her intrigued for the next time, if there will be one. A good idea is to leave your number as well. The truth is, people don't just wake up and decide to be rude to others. Sure, some are naturally rude, but for the most part, if you don't give a woman a reason to be dismissive, she won't be. It all boils down to your approach. What you say, how you interact, and how you make her feel play a huge role. The experience she has with you is what truly matters. So, keep that in mind and step out with confidence. Have some of the best conversations you've ever had with a woman you're interested in. Catch you later.